Are you all comfortable with English? No. So, Assalamu alaikum first of all, and it's been a pleasure that I have been invited for this honor. Actually, this is the topic you all can see, and as Dr. Vani has briefly summarized, and I think what he has done with this summary is better than what I am going to speak, because it was so beautiful and so enchanting. And the words he used, everything was perfect. And that was basically a gist of what I was about to say in this lecture, I'm going to say in this lecture. So basically, I know, you all know I'm from commerce background, and I'm not like into this Qur'anic studies and study of Hadith and all. But so keeping that in mind, what I have designed the lecture is in a way that it's basically about what actually happened and what had taken us from those heights to these holes of darkness. I mean, from that era, which we all hear about and we all are very aware of, because the people who are sitting here, we all have knowledge about it. So what happened? So it's just a kind of discussion about it, how we fell that deep from that heights of glory to this pit of darkness. What happened, and why we just are unable to get back into the same glory which has been like promised by Allah Ta'ala to us. So this lecture is basically a kind of a trial from my side. So I had titled it Glorious Path, Present and Remedies for Future, an assessment in the light of Qur'anic Hadith. Alternatively, I could have said it the lost glory. If I could have named it in a short term, I would have said the lost glory. So basically, let us start from the glorious past, the reign of Hazrat Umar, leaving other things behind, because Khilafat of Hazrat Umar was known to be the best and the far-reaching and having the vastest impact. And during this reign, most of the land which has been like captured or brought into Islamic territory, it was his reign, and things have expanded to like territories which had never earlier done before. And the reforms made by Hazrat Umar, these reforms are still considered the greatest in like many fields. He introduced something new into the field of judiciary, military. His systems were like exemplify examples of something very creative at that time. So in the case of military, so he was the first to kind of organize the army as a state department, and a particular like system of army in which these techniques, which are still being followed, some of them are still being followed, were introduced by Hazrat Umar during his Khilafat. And with in the area of judiciary, Hazrat Umar was the person who like declared judiciary to be independent of like the state, like the Khalifa or anyone else who's being charged of any offense. He has to be, I mean to say, he's like fully, he's not exempted from the law. Even the Caliph himself, he is not exempted from the law. The law is equal to everyone. So this format of judiciary, which is still being followed in the world, it was introduced by Hazrat Umar during his reign in Khilafat. And even in this governor system, we all know, and appointment of chief justices and all, this was introduced by Hazrat Umar. What he used to do, there was a person who went with his governor, and he narrates what is, he is your new governor and what is being expected and all these things. And just since the money was coming, and more land was being like acquiring, so it was made mandatory for every governor that he cannot like ride a Turkish horse, and several other things were like banned for him. Okay, you are not allowed to do these things, so that to put all his governors under proper check, so that their faith should not be. He doesn't want that faith to be put to a test. So there are several things he said that they are not allowed to do. And even those governors were examples of perfection, because what all you must have all heard about it, that there are several such stories of his governors, that what kind of life they were leading. Once what happened, people, what they did, they have this, they go to Hazrat Umar and they write about it that the governor of this place, such and such place, he doesn't come on this particular day. This thing came to Hazrat Umar's knowledge and he called him for that governor. Okay, what happened? Why you don't attend people on that particular day? So he told them that I only have this one piece of cloth, and this is the day I wash it and I wait it to get dry and then I wear it, and then again the next day I go to meet them. So this was the reason. So these kind of person had been produced. So this is the mental state, and their soul and their conscience was like in a far higher state. So that is why they all are working for the welfare of the society, and there was no personal interest involved. So this is how we move to the next part, the social aspect of Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu, that he was the person who established a first welfare state. This concept of welfare intention, it was established only in the reign of Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu, out of the zakat. We all know the charity test, it's under 5 pillars of Islam. So from the zakat, government used to provide income for the needy, including the poor, orphans, widows, and the disabled. So this system was introduced during his reign. And this is what a brief I want to give about the reign of Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu. Moving forward, we have scholars in all fields. Like I have put only small examples which are famous ones, just to make us understand that what the past was actually like. So in 8th century, Harun Rashid, we all have heard his name. It's called the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. It was being founded in 8th century. And there were several scholars, and it's very famous that the text in manuscript they had produced and they had translated, they were vast in numbers. And they had excelled in the field of medicine and several other fields, in mathematics and astronomy. There are several other examples of that. You can see like in 9th century, Al-Razi was born in Persia. He was a physician, he was a chemist and teacher, and his work was translated into Latin and Greek. It's the situation we are seeing today. It wasn't like that earlier. So in the early era of Islam, after it spread and the glory was there, so this was the situation. And in 10th century, Surgeon Al-Zahri, Abul Qasis, he was born in Cordoba, it's in South Spain, this place. So he was inventor of many medical instruments, and he was the first one who wrote a first illustrated surgical book. And as we know, surgery is something very important and very crucial to human life now. So the use of this stitching technique, and this was first introduced by a Muslim surgeon. So what he used, that intestine of animal, that was being first used by a Muslim surgeon for the purpose of surgery. This is our history. This is the contribution of the Muslim society to the world. And in 11th century, then in Baghdad, Ibn Sina, everybody is like very much aware of his name. He wrote this book, Canon of Medicine. It's a 5-volume work encompassing all known medical knowledge of that time. Okay, Muslim scholars were like, they were not limited to a very specific knowledge. They were venturing into areas of these Greeks. In Christianity, several things were prohibited. And their scholars, they were like not allowed to enter into this, and their priests and all, they don't allow people to enter into other work. But Muslim scholars, they were expanding. So whatever knowledge Greeks were very expert in medicine. So all that knowledge and whatever they have derived, so this person has written this in medical knowledge of in canon of medicine at that time. In 12th century, Ibn Rushd is born. He was a philosopher, an astronomer, physician, and he wrote a medical encyclopedia known as the Collegiate in Latin. And moving to 14th century, there was Osman Sharifuddin, or they call this Ottomans Sharifuddin. He was a surgeon and he created illustrated works showing the advanced procedure of Muslim medicine. Something more advances were done at that time. Even in the area of insurance, this was again something introduced by way back by Muslim scholars. It can be traced back to like 2nd century of Islamic era. When Muslims, Arabs, they started to expand their trade in India, the Far East and other countries of Asia. So there this concept of insurance has been evolved. And what happened that there was a joint guarantee by a group of individuals to help each other if there is some disaster or some misfortune happened. So they collectively pour in their money, and whenever something happened bad to a person, so that person is held out of that money. So this basic concept of the structure of insurance, there it got its introduction. There are like several of things we can find in Muslim Islamic history, the contribution to the world they have done. And even in mathematics, you can find this contribution began around 825 AD when the Baghdad mathematician Muhammad ibn Musa, who wrote his famous treatise Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar fi Hizab al-Jabr wa Muqabala. So this is where the famous algebra was born, and this was translated into Latin in 12th century as algebra at al-Muqabala, from which modern term algebra is now derived. So this thing again, this algebra was given by a Muslim scholar. This was something we all are studying, and we don't even know this history, most of us, and we thought it to be a product of some either Jew scholar or Christian scholar. And all these systematic study of method for solving quadratic equations, so they were given by Islamic mathematicians. In the era, if we talk about the whole education system, so during when Europe was intellectually backward, Europe ruled the world, and still they are being considered as the most advanced nation, the European countries. When they were intellectually backward and they were stagnant, it was Islamic scholars, they were flourishing. And they have this openness to the rational sciences, arts, and even literature. They were entering into all the areas, and they were like crossing these territories, and they were creating this kind of literature and education system which was not existing before that. And several contributions were made in the area of, say, chemistry, botany, physics, mineralogy, mathematics, astronomy. As many Muslim thinkers regarded scientific truths as tool for accessing religious truth. They didn't discard it like, okay, this is something forbidden, or you cannot go to science or study something will make things worse, and you will be like taken away from God. No, this thought was not there. They were just expanding, and they were finding these tools to be like very fruitful to accessing the religious truths. And even the oldest and existing university, which is still operating in Morocco, so it was founded in 1859 by a woman called Fatima al-Fahri. So it was associated with the madrasa, and now it is a university of Qarawin something. Pronunciation is not that easy. Qarawin, it was founded in Morocco. So this again dates back to a Muslim scholar and was a woman. So this contribution was made by Islamic scholars. So basically, by that I was just trying to put in, okay, what contributions have Muslims done to this world. And this is a recorded fact. You can find it anywhere. And there are several other contributions. I haven't mentioned everything because all I want to give is a brief kind of intro of that and a brief profile of what has been done. So everything is not here. So what happened? That everything changed. And Baghdad, as I earlier mentioned, that it was known as House of Wisdom. Things were like from starting from medicine to literature to physics to astronomy, everything was blooming. And suddenly everything falls, and we have come to a time in which we are living now. And what condition it is, and how this world has become for Muslims, we all ourselves are witness to it. So what happened? How things have changed drastically. So it was all about not fulfilling the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to the world and he said that I am the prophet and all before him, all the prophets which came to this world. So there was a basic thing they all said, that this is the kalima and you have to follow certain rules and you have to follow a lifestyle which I am bringing, and this is the success mantra for the success in dunya and akhirah. So that basic thing was like very much, the structure is same in the time of Zulpa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what happened that gradually when the Muslim society and started to sway away from all these things and they leave the commandments of Allah gradually and slowly. So along with that, the help of Allah which was there on us, that thing started to move away. When publicly we are doing good deeds, so help of Allah was like on us publicly, on whole society, on whole Muslim Ummah. It started to vanish once we gradually started downgrading ourselves from the deen which has been given to us by Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this was basically the start point, and this is what happening since then. The House of Wisdom I was talking about, Baghdad, it houses like literature and everything. That is why it was called the House of Wisdom. And when it was being attacked by the Mongols, so what happened? That they killed like, I think, what was the number? 1/4 population, I think, something like that. 1/4 population of the city in 1 week or so. And that river of Euphrates over there, so its water was all ready because all your collections and all your literature, all your work on medicine and mathematics and astronomy, every such thing was flown into the river. So with that, ink, the water has become red. And it happened time and again, it happened, and it is happening. Whenever we just forget Allah, the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things are going to change for us. So the only success mantra is to hold what Allah has sent to us. To live that life which Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam have brought to us. So coming to the diagnosis, I have collected a few Qur'anic ayahs and Hadiths for that. Allah has promised to those from amongst you who believe and do righteous deeds that He would surely make them His vicegerents on earth. And let time be witness, verily man is in a great loss, except of course those who believe and do righteous deeds and who rejoice in truth and enjoy patience. So this is what had been told to us, and what we are doing, we are leaving this path and doing something which our heart says, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to live my life on my own terms. So I once read it somewhere. I don't know if it is exactly wording for that, but it was in Urdu. So I would pronounce it that way only. So it was written कि ऐ इब्ने आदम, एक तेरी चाहत है, एक मेरी चाहत है. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is addressing the humankind. कि ऐ इब्ने आदम, एक तेरी चाहत है, एक मेरी चाहत है. होता वही है जो मेरी चाहत है. गर सुपुर्द कर देगा तू अपने आप को उसके लिए जो मेरी चाहत है, तो सौंप दूंगा तुझे वो भी जो तेरी चाहत है. अगर मुखालफत करेगा तो उसकी जो मेरी चाहत है, तो थका दूंगा तुझे वो देने में जो तेरी चाहत है, और फिर होगा वही जो मेरी चाहत है. तो एट द एंड व्हाट अल्लाह तबारक व तआला decides that prevails. So this is the only thing we have to like consider and transform our lives in a way which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that whatever problem has come to us, that problem can be vanished. And in this connection, Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam had quoted this, that an era will come in the near future when Islam will exist merely in name and Quran will exist merely in phrase. So aren't we living in such kind of era? If we leave certain class of people, the masses are living that way only. Haven't we seen this? Neither there is any commandment of Allah in our lives, nor we are following anything told to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or anything told to us by our Rasul, and we have. So we are living life just like that. Yes, we are Muslim. We do say that we are Muslim. Yes, we do recite Quran, and that's it. Okay, I am a very practicing Muslim. I even offer namaz five times a day, and I also hold fast in the month of Ramadan. What else? What else? So this is the condition of practicing Muslims nowadays. Majority, Allah mashallah, but majority, this is the condition. When we are doing this, we feel like, okay, we are done with it. This is that. Or kya kare? So there is basically a whole life. Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us a whole life. This is the structure of life. You have to live the life this way. This is the correct way of living life. And what we are doing? We are offering namaz. After namaz, outside the masjid, we are lying, we are making fun of others. And we are lying and we are making fun, and even we are saying bad things to each other. So what is this? We are not correct in our business. We are making false promises to others. We are selling wrong products to others in the pretext of okay, this is the best. In today's scenario, if you have to like buy something from a shop of a Muslim person and a non-Muslim, everybody feels safe at a shop of non-Muslim, because we all know that this person is Muslim, and 99.9% he is going to lie and make fool of us. This is the condition of us right now. We are fighting among ourselves. Even brothers are killing each other. Children are killing parents just for a piece of land sometime. Right? On some very petty issues. It's very petty. Somebody has called you names and you are angry over that and you are ready to kill the other person. Fights are breaking out. I am talking about this university right now, nothing else. That what situation had prevailed, we all know, right? And what kind of scenario was there a few days ago, and everything was very disturbed. And still, the students and teachers and whatever community we have, majority of them are Muslims, and they are fighting on such petty issues. They are cussing each other on their back, like they never have to face Allah. So this condition is whatever has arrived. It is just because of these factors. You can see what kind of marriages we are doing. Whatever gathering we have, there is no zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is said that whatever meeting you have attended, and if there is no rule of Guru Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam and there is no zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is like you were sitting on the deathbed of a dead donkey. So you just left a place where a dead donkey was lying. If there is no durood on Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam and there is no zikr of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. This is the condition, and what we can see, that the marriages, the programs, whatever we are having, what we are doing in that, nothing but waste of time. So that kind of life actually has led us to this problem. Once an advocate was telling me from Allahabad, okay, you can easily find a Muslim who can take oath on Quran for just few bucks. Just few bucks. Easily, it's very easy to find. You can call anyone and he's ready to put his hand on Quran and say, yes, I have seen this. And for a very small amount of money. This is the condition. This is what we have become. So, whatever is happening to us. And as we can say that there is another Hadith, Hadrat Jarir, he quoted to Hazrat Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when an individual of a community sins, and the community, in spite of its authority over him, does not prevent him from sinning, Allah's punishment descends on them even before death. That is, He subjects them to various tribulations in this very world. Another one, the kalima la ilaha illallah always benefits the individual who proclaims it and keeps away from them woes and troubles, unless indeed its rights are ignored. So the Sahaba asked that what does the ignoring of its right means? The Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam replied, it means that when sins are being committed, openly they do not prevent or stop them. So yes, another one, very important one, when Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Hazrat Aisha said, he came to me and I could realize from his noble countenance that something extraordinary had happened. He did not utter a single word, but having performed ablution, repaired straight to the mosque. I too stood by the wall of the mosque to hear what he had to say. The Prophet of Allah ascended the pulpit and after the usual holy exordium said, O people, Allah has ordained you to join the good and forbid the evil, lest a time should come when you call and He may not respond. You ask for a favor and He may not grant it, and you call for help and He may refuse it. So this time has come and we are witnessing it. So I have taken a lot of time. I just want to conclude it with this, that the only thing we can do to prevent is change our lives, change ourselves. We all know what Islam is. And if we don't have deep knowledge, we have several sources to know what Islam is and what is being expected out of us. So this is what I conclude, that we all should take note that we are going to change ourselves first and at least do something, whatever we feel is right, in the right direction, to tell others. So go for the good and reject the evil, and even tell this to other people, reject the evil. So this is what I had to say. Please, the only remedy we have for the future is to correct ourselves and ask others, so whatever we can, to change their lives too according to the commandments of Allah. And this is the only way we can attain our lost glory. Otherwise, it's like we are giving Nare and all everybody and we are shouting and nothing is happening. Nothing is happening for several years. That is not going to change. When our amal will change, things will definitely evolve and change for better. So this is it. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you very much.